What does it mean to call Jesus a savior when we have so many problems? Like, what is he saving us from? This week, we are talking about Jesus and healing, which is not always a favorite topic in certain traditions. Some traditions really embrace it. But it's clear that Jesus' ministry was essentially connected to healing. People from all over Galilee in the stories show up for him to heal them. And when John the Baptist writes and asks, "Are you the Messiah?" he tells him a list of things about the people who are being healed. The blind see, the deaf hear, the lame walk, the dead are raised. And so I want to just give you some thoughts to wrestle with about this as I wrestle with this, which is there's a lot of people who talk about prayer as if you believe it, it'll happen. And they'll quote some Bible verses like that. But most of us have experiences of praying for things that don't come true, that don't happen for us. And for me, like growing up where my dad passed away of cancer when I was 9, it just sits funny with me when people act like if you just pray, people will be healed and it'll be okay. And I don't know, there's a level of pessimism or suspicion around that. And so in my own prayer life, it's more of can I get myself on board with what's going on in the world around me that I can step into the journey God has in front of me. But that can also lead you to be really turned off to the idea of God as healer when you've gone through situations where Jesus doesn't heal us. And so in the broad Christian tradition, there's a bigger picture healing that I want to talk about that I think we do need to hope for. And that is that there are parts of ourselves that are self-destructive, that we operate out of greed or jealousy or lust and all of these other things, and we need some healing. And the different Christian traditions have different ways of talking about that. In Western traditions, we tend to cut off salvation from, which people will call justification, from sanctification, of that God is transforming you into something better. And when we do that, it's well, all that really matters is that you're justified, right? Because the sanctification thing, it's a nice add-on. But it's something that we need this. This is essential part of Jesus' ministry, and we need to be healed and transformed. The Eastern tradition talks about theosis, and it's a lot more wrapped up into the whole salvation process, is God's healing of us and the spiritual medicine that transforms us so that we might become more like Christ. And that's a here and now thing. And it's true that there are Western traditions that also will make sanctification much more here and now, of, particularly think about Wesleyanism, that you could be sanctified right now. And what's tricky is in some Western traditions, you're so pessimistic about our ability to be sanctified or to become more than we are currently that, we developed traditions around purgatory and stuff of we must have some afterlife moment where we still get more chances to heal because it's not happening. But for certain branches, for Wesley or in Eastern traditions, you can be fully transformed now. But usually it's with the caveat that this is a rarity and unlikely. But we do long for greater healing and that there's more to us than just right now. The thing that I still wrestle with in that is I do have this greater hope that God will let the Spirit kind of grow in us and that the fruit of the Spirit might come to life here and now. But our bodies really matter, because if you are going through different health crises, it shapes you in ways that are often unpleasant. When you go through some brain tumors in certain areas of your brain, when you go through dementia or Alzheimer's, or if you have chemical imbalances, if you're just hungry and hangry, there's parts of our physical selves that greatly influence who we are, what we do. And so I think we all need healing. And it's okay to bring that into your prayer life, even when maybe I'm not going to be healed, but I need this. And Jesus saved me from my body that's failing me, from my impatience, from my greed, my jealousy. We need healing. And so I guess I just want to encourage you, if you're in a tradition that is a little bit more suspicious, I'm not really in a tradition that I think a miracle's happening any moment now. I don't want you to give up on healing. If you are in a tradition that embraces, the miraculous, much more prevalent, much more common, keep hoping, keep praying, but also, be kind and gentle to your Christian brothers and sisters who don't have miracles happen for them, where God, that's not the answer they get. And so I'm behind this mural from Bright Walls. It's from Insane 51, artist from Athens, Greece. And I just love that it's like that peek inside. And if you wear special like 3D glasses, you can see it in different light. But you don't know what's going on in the inside of the people around you. So be gentle to everybody. And we all long for Christ's healing and that there's something more for us. And so I pray that you don't beat yourself up over areas where you wish there was more healing, more growth than what you're currently experiencing. I pray with you as you wrestle with God and you're like, God, I need this thing. Please give me a different answer than the one I've been getting. But mainly just know Christ suffers alongside of you. Christ understands what it is to be hurt. I kind of wish we had some stories in the Gospels about Jesus getting a cold or any sort of sickness thing, so we could have more of those kinds of stories of Jesus suffering alongside of us beyond just the intensity of the cross. But Jesus knows the pains of this world. And so we are okay to cry out when we're frustrated about injuries and sickness and not being the full persons that we hope to be. But we also shouldn't give up crying out for healing and that God might save us. And so may God heal all of us.